starting to make a move. You make enough move with your checkerboards, you get to be king.
Saturday, penalties cost hard charger Jamie Labbercane dearly, opening the door for Chance Vegan to lay down the hottest run of the night. So warm up those vocal cords. Cheering's free. Day 3 of the Calgary Stampede Rangeland Derby. Next.
Chuckwagon racing is one of the most extreme sports.
It's breathtaking and heart-pounding.
It's easy to get into, but it's impossible to get out of.
Calgary Stampede is the crown jewel of Chuckwagon racing.
The highlight of your career.
This is the big show.
Calgary's got a certain smell and a certain sound to it. It's got a different feel than anywhere else.
Behind those 4 thoroughbred horses and the power, no better feeling.
You've got 5,000 pounds of horse in front of you. Makes my heart race.
It's what every Chuckwagon driver aims for, is write your name in the history books.
Commitment, effort, time, and sacrifice. And that's what it takes to be a champion. It's what every driver wants to do. And if you're a wagon driver, you got to win it.
Well, the sun is shining in downtown Calgary, Alberta, one of the hottest days of the summer so far, and we are just heating up when it comes to the Calgary Stampede as we close out the final day of the first weekend of the Calgary Stampede and getting ready for night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby. We welcome you back inside GMC Stadium, get you set for tonight. One last night before we shuffle the deck and hit the redraw button in terms of the heats and get everybody stacked up in terms of running times for the first 3 nights. But we got one more night of racing before that hits just yet, and it's no question who the front runners have been to this point of the Rangeland Derby. They've come in the final 3 heats. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But boy, with the parity we've seen so far in this year's Rangeland Derby, it's led to some phenomenal moments at the finish line. And just look at these 3 finishes from day 2 alone. This was heat 3. Chance Flad, the Stampede rookie, wins his heat in the 1500ths of a second category. How about that one? And then if that's not close enough, this one you couldn't even tell. The photo finish at the wire, Ross Knight wins by a 1/100th of a second. And then heat 6, 13/100ths of a second. The victory there from Dallas Dix. So 3 photo finishes all on the second night at the Calgary Stampede. And there you get a look at where we stand through 2 nights of racing here. Jason Glass, a pair of second place finishes. He's up at the top. The names have shuffled around a little bit, but through 2, they've been pretty steady in that top 10, and we'll break that down as we roll along here tonight and welcome in our very own Billy Melville, who joins me now. And, you know, we talk about consistency. That's the key to win this thing. So far, that's played out at the top of the standings, but it's been a lot of fun here through 2 nights, hasn't it?
Well, we've seen some fantastic races, and you just showed a few fantastic finishes there. Guys coming from off the pace. I'm still confused that the number 1 barrel hasn't won more races or crossed the finish line first, but you know what, for the crowd, it's been they've been bringing them to their feet, and that's what it is. Hey, we're in the business of entertainment here.
We talked about it right off the top. The heavyweights have been heavy so far, and in terms of the 7 fastest times in each of the first 2 nights, the names don't change very much. Maybe the order a little bit, but the heavyweights are front and center right at the top.
Yeah, well, the guys that have been running good all year, well, they're right up there right now. I mean, there's a few that, you know, kind of snuck in there. We saw Troy Dorchester on the first night there. We saw Doug Irvine on this night, but again, look everywhere around there, and those are the guys that have have had the hot hand this year, and there's quite a few of them. And there's going to be even more of them out here tonight, I think.
And so. Jason Glass, steady, consistent, number 2 both nights, which 2 plus 2 equals 1, I guess, if my math serves me correct.
Yes, well, that's how it works here, you know. And Jason doesn't mind being boring as long as he's in the number 1 spot, and that's where he is, and that's where he likes to be. He's been there a lot.
Well, if only we had a little Jason Glass insight. I don't know if we go over to Doug and Tom. Maybe you guys might know somebody who'd have a little insight into what's going on over in the Glass barn.
Thanks, Brendan. You might be able to tell by the checkerboards on Tom's shirt that he's related to Jason Glass. And Tom, of course, Jason off to a great start here in the Rangeland Derby. What's going well for him so far?
Well, everything. He, you know, a year and a half ago, he bought 8 new horses. And we went with him last year, and he was driving 3 new ones down here pretty well every night last year. And I thought, wow, you're taking a big risk there. It worked pretty good, ended up 5th overall. Well, them same horses are now a year older, and man, have they come into it. And they're loving it. They love it, and they work. He's got 2 cracking outfits he's went out with here, and I believe he has another one in the barn. So he's happy with it all. It's called hard work.
Well, Jason's taken some risk, but there's some reward there. But last night we had a couple of brilliant recoveries during the heats as we take a look at what happened to Wade Salmond in his heat. Drops the reins.
Yeah, he kind of slapped that wheel horse and they fell out of his hand and reaches down. I think he just got a whole muddle of them there, but makes a great turn out of that. But, whoa, that's a scary moment. If you don't get him back, he's in a lot of trouble. But they just come up there and cut back, and away they go.
Ray Crono Jr., a lot of horsepower, and sometimes that can come back to bite you.
Yeah, they jerked him, set him right up off the seat, down, he's standing on the floor. And he found that really strange to drive like that. If you notice, Jason and myself, we drove standing up, but if you're not used to it, it's tough.
So a lot of thrills, chills, and spills through the first couple of nights of the Rangeland Derby. Brendan, we're looking forward to more tonight.
All right, we're piecing it all together here tonight for another night of wagon racing. And coming up, we'll get to our first heats on day number 3 of the Rangeland Derby.
This program is brought to you in part by Yeti. Yeti, built for the wild.
Alberta, a province built on the back of a horse. A powerful, courageous, majestic animal. And speed to burn. Every day, thousands of hardworking Albertans breed, race, and care for horses. It's, as we say, a way of life. Horse Racing Alberta works to strengthen veterinarian protocols, revolutionize track surface testing, and ensure equine and human safety, all while boosting the economy, attracting 1 million people a year to live racing. Rich in tradition, vibrant in culture, and ingrained in our way of life. This is horse racing in Alberta.
Let's ride. We are professional tornado wranglers. Yes, indeed.
We got something big. Are you seeing this?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go!
Do not try this at home.
Twisters, in theaters July 19th.
When you live with diabetes, confidence comes from knowing your glucose levels and where they're headed. Manage your diabetes with confidence with Dexcom G7.
The Calgary Stampede Rodeo, tomorrow on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 1.
With more John Deere dealerships across the West and over 90 years working with farmers like you, Brent has the horsepower and know-how you need. All right, the wagons are rolling on a beautiful Sunday night. Let's head over to Doug and Tom to get things started.
Thanks, Brendan. Let's take a look at the drivers for heat number 1 presented by IHOP. And heat number 1 has been extremely hot the first 2 nights. Doug Irvine will be off the number 1 barrel, 5th fastest time last night, 1:13.07. And off that number 2 barrel tonight will be Troy Dorchester at the 6th fastest time on opening night, 1:12.67. And Jordy Fike off the 3 barrel would like to join the party and make it a hat trick of fast times in this opening heat.
I think it's Jordy's turn. You know, he's been in here a couple of years now, and his outfit is better than what they're showing, and he drives really good. So we'll see what happens tonight with Jordy.
Yeah, so Jordy Fike will be off the 3-barrel, but you've got the Doug Irvine, who was very fast last night. Troy Dorchester off that 2-barrel. And of course, Troy is the 2012 Calgary Stampede champion, and that was just ahead of Doug Irvine, who was 1/100th of a second behind Troy back in 2012. So these two know each other very well. As we take a look at the fastest time last night, and Chance Vegan was the fastest out of one of those later heats, and that's where all of the times have been coming so far. But this opening heat's a little bit surprisingly been very quick.
Well, it has been, like Doug Irvine, he's always been good off that short barrel. 3-barrel. He's always tracked and went out of there on that, and he did it again last night. So hopefully he can carry that on to the 1-barrel. And then after tonight, we're going to redraw, Doug. We're going to put the fastest wagons together right down each heat until we get to the slowest 3 wagons. So these guys want to get out of here because they're supposed to be the slowest 3.
And of course, Jordy Fike is the older brother of Chad Fike, who had the fastest time on night number 1. So he'd like to duplicate what his younger brother did as they pull into the infield for the opening night heat of the night on night number 3. Here's Les McIntyre.
There's a horn and they're off to a quick start. Outriders get their job done. Load up, mount that barrels, get around them barrels and get her done. And that's the way it goes for Troy Dorchester tonight. A nice run off that number 2 barrel as Troy gets out in front of 2.5 lengths. Headed into that second turn on a burn. The barrels are up. Our Smithfield has Outriders in hot pursuit of their respective wagons, and Troy Dorchester, it's all about the horses of Troy as he charges down that backstretch with about a 5-length lead. Now the backfield is in motion. You see Jordy Fike and Steelhouse Technologies charging around the outside. You'll see Doug Irvine and the Rays group along that rail. That rail advantage will pay off. But no matter how fast he gets, that guy on the front end is going to be pretty hard to catch. Troy Dorchester, he's going to need some red-shirted Outriders to hustle up. Is here he comes for the home stretch drive. Calgary, it's your turn to come alive. Troy Dorchester opens him up. The uncatchable Troy Dorchester. He'll get to that Play Alberta finish line about 4 or 5 lengths ahead of his nearest competitor with Outriders looking good. And here comes Steelhouse Canada.
And Troy Dorchester, the 2012 Calgary Stampede champion, going wire to wire unofficially in a time of 1:12.34. And that is, again, is a very fast time as we take a look at Jordy Fike's start on the Brant Ag replay.
Left leader jumps in the air, rears. He's kind of bucking, and then he gets up here, and he don't want to come back. He just, I don't think he knows where he's at. He just wants to go somewhere, anywhere.
All right, let's take a look now at Doug Irvine's start.
Same thing. That horse, he let a leap in the air, not near as bad as Jordy's, but nice turn once he gets up there. No, now the right hand. See the right hand horse fighting him all the way back to the track. Doesn't want to come back. So, yeah, 2 wild turns there. So Troy had a good turn, but you see why he's so far ahead.
That's right. He had an open lane, and off he went, and off to the races, and never looked back, and just flying down that back stretch, unofficially in a time of 1:12.34.
Which is a good time. I don't think there was a 1:12. There was only like 3 times last night that broke the 1:13, or about 4 times maybe altogether.
Yeah, so we'll find out if the track is speeding up. But Troy Dorchester, the 2012 Calgary Stampede champ, when we go to the redraw, he's going to be moving up because he is flying so far and celebrating a victory again on night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby. Well, 1912, the Treaty 7 First Nations first camped here at the Calgary Stampede, and they hold a powwow now here. And this is the first of 2 nights. And Parade Marshal actor Owen Croshew has spent some time there and will return to the Calgary Stampede in a moment.
Calgary Stampede Lotteries, the greatest ways to win. Win over $2.2 million in prizes, including the greatest dream home, while giving back to your community. Get your tickets now at calgarystampede.com/lotteries.
When my hearing changed, Hearing Life understood. I don't just want to keep hearing my customers. I want to keep being me.
Book a free hearing test with one of our hearing professionals and see how our personalized care can help you keep being you. Love your ears at Hearing Life.
New and improved Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline removes up to 100% of performance-robbing deposits to rejuvenate your engine's performance.
Prime Day is coming July 16th and 17th. With epic deals exclusively for Prime members, you'll feel like a big deal. Shop deals on electronics, fashion, home, and more this Prime Day.
Buying a car is pretty daunting.
But the price badge on Auto Trader really gave me the confidence that I was putting my money to good use.
I think these features definitely boost the confidence.
The price badge is awesome.
The answer is Auto Trader.
Canada's favorite pizza delivers again with a new mouth-watering stuffed cheesy bread only from Domino's. Introducing Philly cheesesteak, one of 5 delicious varieties, just $8.99 each when you mix and match with another pizza, side, or more cheesy bread. Domino's, pizza over everything.
It's not just about unbelievably comfortable shoes or precision support insoles. It's about freedom. So whether you're hiking rugged trails or dancing your way through life, our footwear and orthotics are your ticket to pain-free adventures. Visit kintec.net today to learn more.
Roam the unknown, earn the patina, live the cowboy life. Cody Yellowstone, wild forever. Well, if Heat 1 is any indication, the track looks like it's in really good condition on this Sunday night. Let's see if Heat 2 can keep things rolling.
And Heat 2 presented by IHOP. Let's put a smile on your face as we get ready for Heat number 2. And off the number 1 barrel tonight, it'll be Cody Ridsdale, who was the fastest driver on opening night in this heat. Off the number 2 barrel, normally it would be Kirk Sutherland who would be driving, but Kirk took a hard spill last night, so Mitch Sutherland, his son, will be in the wagon tonight for him. And off the 3 barrel, it's one of our 3 Stampede rookies, Chance Thompson.
Yeah, Mitch will do a good job. He's driving good. He's been getting better every year and just coming on strong.
And of course, Kirk Sutherland was 2016 Calgary Stampede champion. And Kirk had a tumble last night out of the wagon in his heat and walked off the track and had a smile on his face, but obviously feeling the effects of that. So Mitch Sutherland will be in the wagon for him tonight.
Yeah, it was kind of an innocent little thing. It was just before the horn went, his big wheeler reared in the air and then come down really hard. And Kirk, of course, had a hold of the line on him, jerked him over the front of the box, down underneath. And he rolled out of there and come up, and he was smiling afterwards. But I imagine he's feeling it today when you're 67, you don't bounce quite like you do when you're 17. I know that.
And Chance Thompson, the rookie, off the 3 barrel, was the winner of this heat last night. And so we'll see if he can keep it going tonight as well in the race for the Orville Strandquist Award. Let's go to Les for this call.
They're off to a great start, and it's a good one for Mitch Sutherland and Captain Kirk's team, and he gets out of here with a clean sweep. And Chance Thompson gets out in behind him, but look at the rail grabber. That is Cody Ridsdale in their Chiefs Business Center as he holds off a charge from Mitch Sutherland around the outside with the pedal pop. Put the pedal to the metal, Mitch, because Cody Ridsdale has got all the speed you need as he charges down that backstretch. Now Chance Thompson starting to close ground, got everything lined up. Our Smithfield Hats Outriders looking good, all bunched in behind. And here's what's trending into that 3rd turn. Speedy Gonzalez Jr., Cody Ridsdale, he can feel the hot breath of that field to him now as Mitch Sutherland's outfit comes alongside around the outside to challenge Cody Ridgedale in the O'Cheese Business Center. And look who's coming. Here comes Chance Thompson. Visit lethbridge.com. Move over, boys. Give me some room, because here they come to the wire. Cody Ridgedale with Mitch Sutherland turning it on the heat. Turning it up. Look at this. Mitch Sutherland is going to get there by a nose up the wire right about now. He gets the job done.
And another photo finish. And we had 3 of them last night. This one in heat number 2. And Mitch Sutherland getting it done, it looks like, for his dad, Kirk Sutherland, in heat number 2 unofficially. And we'll take a look now at Mitch Sutherland's start in the Brant replay.
Boy, they're wanting out of there. They're wanting to go before they're supposed to. Yeah, kind of had to sit back on them and go, but they did come running out of there.
Here's Cody Ridgedale's start off the number 1 barrel.
Kind of nice, yeah, kind of cuts. There's what I like to see on that 1 barrel. See how he come back close to the barrel on the way down, makes the bottom barrel way easier. So the 1 barrel is the way tonight.
And Mitch Sutherland driving for his dad, Kirk. And Mitch, of course, Kirk won the 2016 Rangeland Derby, and Mitch was in that final as well.
Like 5/100s, I think his dad.
That was very close, exactly. So Mitch riding for his dad, who we thought was going to retire, of course. That was part of the deal.
Yeah.
You know, when you turn 65 here, but Kirk had a medical for his helicopter pilot license a couple of years ago, passed that, went to the Stampede and said, hey, if I can do that, I can drive a Chuckwagon. Exactly. As we look at that photo finish, and yes, it is Mitch Sutherland by a nose driving for his father, Kirk, in heat number 2.
We've had some great races. Yeah.
As you take a look at Mitch Sutherland, looking back, of course, Kirk Sutherland, as we mentioned, also got an exemption from the Stampede, argued about the COVID in 2020 as well. And Billy Melville now in the wagon with Mitch Sutherland.
Well, Mitch, the ultimate compliment is when another driver asks you to drive their horses, albeit that it is your father, but he's got to be quite proud of you. You got the job done here tonight.
Yeah, they work nice. This is the first time driving these guys, and they're pretty nice to drive.
When you pulled into the barrels, it looked like you had your hands full. You need a big, strong guy like you and your dad to be able to stop these guys. Were you afraid you might drive through?
Well, this left wheeler gets a little goofy, but I was ready for him.
Well, he's a big guy, you know, just like the rest of you. But anyways, good job tonight, and maybe we'll see Kirk back in the box tomorrow.
You bet, thanks.
Alrighty, Mitch Sutherland.
All right, there's a look at heat number 2, and a great drive there from Mitch Sutherland stepping in. Coming up, we've got heat number 3 featuring a Stampede rookie who earned his first win last night.
The Blue Jays and the Giants. Springer gets into it, and it is gone.
Blue Jays, Giants, Tuesday on Sportsnet.
I know you love your dada.
Of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face. Or with his body language.
The funniest movie of the summer is now in theaters.
Come on. Good job, Junior. Way to go.
Illumination's Despicable Me 4. In theaters now.
Shredded wheat cereal, 100% whole grain wheat with 0 grams of sugars and 0 salt. And there are endless possibilities. Shredded wheat, 1 ingredient, endless possibilities.
Save up to 33% on select Walmart brand products. She nods in approval and places the tuna in her cart. This lady loves her tuna. She questions the ominous voice above her. Oh.
Dad, where does the sun go at night?
Explore any road with an extra set of eyes. The all-new, fully redesigned 2025 Subaru Forester. Trust the real search engine.
The Calgary Stampede Rodeo, tomorrow on Sportsnet 1.
Welcome back to the Calgary Stampede. We've got one of the Calgary Stampede rookies this year, one of three, Chance Flad, coming off a big win last night. He's with Billy Melville now.
Oh, just hearing that crowd go cheering at when we're coming into the infield, their hearts just started pounding, and the horses were, I think, feeding off it a bit too. So it was pretty exciting and just happy to finally get a win.
Let's see if he could go back-to-back tonight.
Heat number 3 presented by IHOP, and yes, we've got 3 rookies in this 2024 Rangeland Derby, including Chance Flad, who won last night's heat. He'll be off of barrel number 3. Off the 2 barrel tonight, it'll be Preston Faithful in his second Calgary Stampede. Finished second in the Orville Strandquist race last year in his rookie season. And off the number 1 barrel, it'll be veteran Todd Baptiste.
Todd's made some nice turns and some good runs. So is Preston. He's been cracking out of there. He got clipped up barrel the first night and kind of knocked him down in the average, but he's running good now and looking forward to some good things coming from Preston.
So Preston Faithful looking for his first win in heat number 3. Todd Baptiste was the winner of this heat on opening night, and Chance Flad, the rookie, winning on night number 2. And we're ready for heat number 3 now. Let's go to Les.
There's the horn, and the charge is underway, and a quick start for Todd Baptiste and Soar Oilfield, and there goes Chance Flad. Sashays out to the outside. There goes Preston Faithful, the Hamilton Aircraft of Canada. We have liftoff, runway 2, as he takes up his landing gear with his flight attendants in tow, our Smithfield Hat Outriders, and they're looking good. Now look at them all strung out. Preston Faithful, the Hamilton Aircraft of Canada, are out in front of the pack by a length and a half and a length and 3/4, and now the backfield's in motion again. Chance Flad is running second, coding for veterans, but he can feel the thunder as Todd Baptiste and Soar Oilfield, the big trucking company, shifting gears. They found overdrive, and they are rounding the turn in hot pursuit of Chance Flad's lead team, and this guy on the front end has turned on the jets. The afterburners are open, and here comes the Hamilton Aircraft of Canada, and Preston Faithful headed down the home stretch drive. Calgary, it's your turn to come alive. Preston Faithful, the Hamilton Aircraft. He will hit the playing Alberta finish line 2 1/4 lengths ahead of Chance Flad, and a hard-closing Todd Baptiste. Almost got there.
So it's Preston Faithful winning heat number 3 unofficially in a very fast time of 1:12.42.
We got 2 12s in that low. Well, there's your stove man.
Yeah, that's the Brant Ag replay. Preston Faithful.
Boy,
Start off the 2 barrel.
Look at him fold back there. Nice turn on that top barrel. Away they go.
Here's Chance Flad start off the 3 barrel.
Yes, yeah, he cut it nice. Just missed the top barrel by about 6 inches, and away he goes. Chance is driving good. He's been driving good for the last, well, quite a few years. And he's just kind of feeling his way into Calgary here. It's a little different when you're first year you come here.
Yeah, as Preston Faithful discovered last year in his first trip to the Rangeland Derby, he had some good running times, but had some penalties along the way as a rookie. And but very nice, very clean, very fast tonight.
I think
heat number 3.
I think he's over his nervousness now, and if he isn't, he will be after this. What a race! He's 3 wagon lengths out front. Nice
1:12.42 unofficially. That's a very fast time. The fastest time tonight so far, Troy Dorchester, 1:12.34. So we're off to a very quick start, and perhaps that track is speeding up. All right, Billy, you're in the winning wagon with Preston Faithful.
All right, Preston. Another good run for you there. Looks like everything was clean, but you turned the 1 barrel last. I'm losing confidence in that one barrel. How did it feel tonight off the two?
Because it felt great, Billy. The horses started and they worked, and when they work like that, it's just a lot easier to get her done.
Well, it looked like Flatty got a little bit of a jump, but boy, did these guys ever hit it. Was there ever any doubt that you were going to get ahead of them?
Kind of having a little bit of doubts, but you know, at the end of the day, you have to believe in your horses, and you have to just believe that they'll work, and when they work, it's a great feeling.
Well, it looks like they're starting to peak right now, right at the right time, right when you wanted to.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, well, good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, pal.
Alrighty, Preston Faithful.
Good stuff there, Billy, and nice job by Preston Faithful. It looks like every single guy in that heat's got to win through 3 days. And now as we look ahead, let's take a look back at 2023, because as you could say, the winner was due.
There was a lot of tribulations and hard times. You know, they're basically building blocks to get to that point last year.
Going to be very interesting, this final heat of the night.
To be able to get the chance to redeem ourselves, it felt good for sure.
There's the horn, and it is Lane McGillivray as it takes the early lead.
You are the greatest. You've got style and swagger. You're agricultured. You show for the parade. You stay for the encore. You're in it for the thrill. You're in it for the grill. Whether you're a first-timer or an every-timer, you are the greatest part of the greatest outdoor show on earth. The Calgary Stampede, July 5th to 14th.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top-quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. Beef fuels your body with health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. One serving of beef contains protein that helps build strong muscles, zinc, which contributes to the normal function of the immune system, and iron, which helps build red blood cells. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Want the power of 5 serum benefits in one? New Olay Super Serum activates on skin for visible results that beat the #1 luxury serum. A super glow for your best skin yet. Olay.
Patrón Tequila.
Focus on your breathing. And now we are going to shift slightly forward. And hold.
Imagine finding your Zen at home with proprietary decking and railing products from Decorators.
EFW Radiology is proud to be the official diagnostic imaging provider for the Calgary Stampede, providing services across Calgary and southern Alberta for 55 years. All right, a beautiful night at Calgary Stampede. Of course, the Rangeland Derby is underway here on night number 3, and we got the Harrow underway. The times have been fast, and they've been clean so far through 3 heats. As we look a little bit later on tonight, we'll get to see Lane McGillivray back in action, one of the most consistent drivers there is when it comes to Chuckwagon racing, and specifically the Calgary Stampede. But they say in any sport, sometimes you have to lose before you win, and there's no better example than that than Lane McGillivray, because he was so close back in 2022, 2023. It was his year. Well, as they prepare the track, the drivers prepare for heat number 9.
Every wagon driver, you grow up wanting to win the Calgary Stampede. And
Lane McGillivray, he's been confident and focused.
there's a lot of things that go through your mind.
There's Ross Knight, a little smile and a nod.
I mean, there's a lot of tough wagons out there right now.
There's a look at Kurt.
It's hard to bet against this guy. That day, there was a lot of emotion just in getting us to that point last year.
Talk about full circle, because Lane McGillivray started as an outrider, winning Calgary Stampede titles with Huey Sinclair in 2000 and 2004, and now here he is in 2023. We're set for the Dash for Cash. Quiet on the set.
We definitely had our fair share of tough luck and bad seasons. 2016, I had the worst year of my wagon racing career.
Trailing the pack is Lane McGilvery. Oh, I see a couple barrels down out there. That's not good.
I think we ended up 32nd that year.
McGilvery in behind the pack.
Yes, I did think of quitting. Actually, Lorena was probably the reason we didn't.
I've always done this, so I don't know anything different.
I didn't want to go out on a bad note.
Lane McGilvery's on mission. He's got everything under control.
I think we just started getting the right horses around us.
The uncatchable Lane McGilvery.
Mindset probably helped a lot, just kind of taking it one day at a time and not trying to get too far ahead of yourself.
This should be a fantastic final heat of the 2022 Rangeland Derby.
That was the first time I'd been in the Calgary Dash.
Lane McGilvery hanging desperately on to that rail position.
I had the barrel position to do it, and we lost the race. That was probably the toughest part on me. Maybe that was our one and only chance.
Say hello to 2022 world champion.
As the success kept happening, the confidence builds for sure. We've been very fortunate to have really good support around the barn.
My two kids, Tegan and Trey, they travel with us, and Trey outrides.
They do so much work behind the scenes that doesn't get recognized, but without them, you can't do it.
There was a lot of tribulations and hard times. You know, they're basically building blocks to get to that point last year.
It's going to be very interesting, this final heat of the night.
To be able to get the chance to redeem ourselves, it felt good for sure.
There's the horn, and it is Lane McGilvery as it takes the early lead.
There's a lot of things that play a factor in getting there.
It's Lane McGilvery with company a coming.
Staying consistent and believing in yourself and your horses.
McGilvery and Bensmiller headed to the wire with their wheels on fire. Lane McGilvery, Spring Sawmills, a horse right ahead.
Pretty emotional. You know, just realizing that your dream finally came true.
There's no words to explain it. It was just incredible.
The one thing that I always touch on is the family atmosphere. You know, to have them by your side, working for the same goal that you're working for, it's truly rewarding.
Your 2023 Cowboys Rangeland Derby champion.
There's not many things that you can do in your life and have your family by your side, and it means a lot.
Obviously a monumental moment in the career of Lane McGilvery, and there is, you see it also meant a lot to the family as we bring in Les McIntyre. And Les, how would you describe that moment for him and just how he's responded since then leading into this year?
Highlight of everybody's life is to be on that stage at the Calgary Stampede, get the big prize money, got the Weedick Award last year as well, which is huge honor. And you know, Lane is such a quiet, humble guy. It was nice to see him up there. This year, he's being Lane McGilvery. He's not showy. He's not always first. He's just calculating. He's got good horsepower. He knows when to use them. He knows how to use them. And he'll kind of be like a lot of guys that have won this Calgary Stampede. He'll play it safe. He'll play it fast. And when it comes down to crunch time in the last 4 days, I think we'll see some good things from Lane McGilvery at this year's Stampede.
Well, one more photo finish already here on night number 3, and we had a few of them last night, including one in heat number 4. Take a look at what it was between Ross Knight and Chance Bensmiller. It came down to the wire. We'll see if they've got a little bit more magic in them tonight on night number 3. Good stuff there, and taking a look as we set the stage for the Rangeland Derby each and every year at the Canvas Auction. Let's get you caught up on a couple of results, or at least one result. We got Heat 2 results right now. Still taking a look at Heat 1, so we'll skip right ahead. And it's Kirk Sutherland that gets the win. Remember, that was driven by his son Mitch, and did so very nicely at a time of 1:14.27, just ahead of Cody Ridsdale at 1:14.33 in that photo finish at the line. And Mitch Sutherland stepping into the wagon and filling in nicely. He'll be back for his own outfit coming up a little bit later here in just moments as well with Ross Knight and Chance Bensmiller. But off to a nice start for Kirk as we get ready for Heat 4.
Heat number 4, presented by IHOP. And yes, we are going to see Mitch Sutherland driving his own wagon in this one off the 3-barrel. Off the number 1 barrel, it's going to be Ross Knight, of course, who was a finalist last year, losing to Lane McGilvery and finishing behind Kurt Bensmiller. And Kurt's brother Chance will be off the number 2 barrel, and Mitch Sutherland will be off that 3-barrel. And Mitch should be used to this because, of course, he was an all-Canadian football player at the University of Alberta, was drafted by the Montreal Alouettes back in 2002. So he's getting a couple of reps tonight. This is like being in training camp. He's already had the 1 turn, and here he goes again, and hoping to duplicate what he did in Dad Kirk's wagon. He won Heat number 2. Here he is in Heat number 4, and he's going to give it another shot.
Yeah, he wants to win a couple a night. That'd be pretty good. Mitch, he's a good guy. He's always happy, always got a smile on his face, and just a good attitude. And he drives good. He gets the right outfit. He had a little gray lead team in here a couple of years ago. Man, he was flying off them barrels, and just an all-around kind of good guy.
And he was recognized as an all-around good guy last year by the World Professional Chuckwagon Association, as he was awarded the WPCA's highest annual honor, the Chuckwagon Person of the Year, which goes to the the person in the sport who is recognized for their contributions and their character on and off the track. So Mitch Sutherland will be off this 3-barrel, and of course we mentioned Ross Knight, who will be off the number 1 barrel tonight, and Ross would like to work his way back into that top 3 like he did last year. He got some luck last year, though, of course, and some help. Remember, on night number 9 we got an inch of rain, and that allowed him to sneak into that dash for cash.
Yeah, and the inch come right after he run, and just before Chance Vegan run before, so that was the difference. But Ross has always got a running outfit. It's kind of weird how it goes year to year with different drivers. Like he's never really flew off the barrels, but he's always had a finish. And that's what I did in my career. Is I was never known for barreling out of there. Kelly Sutherland was, but I could come and catch him, not all the time, but a few times I could take a run at Kelly coming home. So we had a lot of fun races doing that.
Well, Kelly has 12 career Stampede titles. You had 4, so you didn't catch him on 8 occasions anyway.
Exactly.
All right, let's go upstairs to Les now for Heat number 4.
There's the horn, and they're off. A quick start it is for Ross Knight and the Mob Squad as he casts his fate to the figure 8 and watches Mitch Sutherland storm off that upper 3-barrel. Mitch Sutherland and Subsurface Construction, and they're piling up behind him, if you know what I mean. Ross Knight and the Mob Squad sits tight to that rail. And Chance Bensmiller, Ellis Dawn falling in behind him with our Smithfield Outriders right in behind where they need to be. But look at Big Mitch. He has got this one rocking and rolling down that back stretch with a near length and 3/4 lead over Ross Knight and the Mob Squad. Now Ross is starting to gain some ground. He found some wheels. He's got some air in those thoroughbreds, and he's going to put the run on Mitch Sutherland as they come around the corners. In hot pursuit is Chance Bensmiller and Ellis Dawn Construction. And round the turn we burn and set him up for the home stretch drive. Calgary, it's your turn to come alive. Mitch Sutherland, Subsurface Construction, piling up the speed, and here comes Ross Knight, but too little, too late at the playing Alberta finish line. It is Mitch Sutherland that are coming ahead of Ross Knight and the Mob Squad.
So it is Mitch Sutherland in Heat number 4, unofficially in a very fast time of 1:12.43, and so 2 victories in 4 heats now for Mitch Sutherland.
There you go, and man, they flew out of there. Here's Ross on the 1 barrel. Comes up, he's a little tight going up and gets over there a little ways, but they come back out of there pretty good. But look at
and here's Mitch's start
on the outside. He's gone. They popped off this 3-barrel. It's not bad to go a little ways past 3 because it's so short. It gives you a little more room to get back in between them 2 barrels. They're awful tight together, but man, look at him go around them first couple corners. They're flying. Mitch is having a good night.
He's having a very good night, and obviously didn't have any problems recovering just 2 heats later after filling in for his dad Kirk, who was injured last night. And so Mitch 2 of the first 4 heats. He finishes first, and that'll put a smile on his face.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. And Chance Bensmetal, you know, he's just kind of galloping along there. Just look for more from him this year. He's always got a lot of kick and a lot of run, but he's just going to change a few things up.
Yeah, Mitch Sutherland in his 9th Calgary Stampede was a finalist in 2016, finishing behind his dad, Kirk, who went on to win that title. Family affair, of course. Uncle Kelly with 12 Stampede titles.
Yeah, there's a lot of Sutherlands have won races, and there's a lot more coming.
There are a lot more coming for sure. It's a family affair at the Rangeland Derby, and when we return to the track, we'll get a look at Darcy Flad, who has had 2 wins on the opening 2 nights of the Rangeland Derby. We'll see if that smile continues when we return to Stampede Park.
The Blue Jays and the Giants. Stringer gets into it, and it is gone.
Blue Jays, Giants, Tuesday on Sportsnet.
The West was forged in deep-rooted values. Your style is a reflection of your heritage and love for the lifestyle. We believe in pushing the boundaries and blazing new trails and the brands that help you achieve greatness.
Let your horses run.
Lamleys, live your own West.
Patron Tequila.
Sail through the heart of historic cities and unforgettable scenery with Viking. Unpack once and get closer to iconic landmarks, local life, and cultural treasures. Because when you experience Europe on a Viking longship, you'll spend less time getting there and more time being there. Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
The Calgary Stampede Rodeo, tomorrow on Sportsnet and Sportsnet 1.
Crafting old-fashioned butter and ice cream since 1969 with a full stable of over 80 flavors. Wrangle up a scoop of joy with Foothills Creamery. All right, welcome back. As we take a look at some results from earlier in the evening, we'll go back to heat number 3, and every single man in that heat has won a race to this point in the Calgary Stampede, and it was Preston Faithful's turn, who does it in a really fast time of 1:12:43. So Faithful is on the board thanks to his victory tonight ahead of Chance Flad and Todd Baptiste, the 2-second penalty. And there's the look at the finish coming down the home stretch from Preston Faithful. But maybe more impressive than the driving was the assist from his brother Keith right here. How about this? That's lending a helping mouth, I guess. What an assist there. Thanks very much, and just move that thing on over. And there's Billy Melville making sure he's getting his questions in there as well.
Heat number 5, presented by IHOP. I'm thinking IHOP, and I'm thinking this will be another fast heat as we take a look at the drivers. Off the number 1 barrel, it'll be Evan Solomon, who was 3rd overall in the WPCA standings last year, tying his career best. Off the 2 barrel, rookie Dayton Sutherland, and Darcy Flad will be off that number 3 barrel, the veteran, and he's won both of the heats so far in heat number 5.
Dayton Sutherland made a great turn on that one last night. It's probably the best turn I've seen on the 1 barrel in 2 days. And if he does that same thing on 2, he's going to be out there and away. But he's got this guy to deal with right here.
Yeah.
He's Evan Solomon. He's always tough, and he'll be there. This will be a good race. Darcy, he's won it the last 2 nights, I believe.
Yeah, and Darcy, of course, colorful personality, to say the least. He's given us some of the most interesting quotes in the wagon over the last few years with Billy Melville. And, of course, he won himself some top day money a few years ago and had ample opportunity to celebrate that as Evan Solomon pulls into the infield along with Darcy Flad and Dayton Sutherland, the rookie. we're all set now for heat number 5, and here's Les McIntyre with the call.
There's a horn, and the charge is underway. Dayton Sutherland and Darcy Fladd match strides, and they're out of town. Hold the screen door open, Grandma. We leave it right now. Oh, look at that, to Haviland aircraft. That is Evan Salmon. He's got room along that rail inside of Dayton Sutherland as they fly into that second turn with Outriders in hot pursuit. A 3-wagon race as Evan Salmon matches strides with Dayton Sutherland and Truman Holmes, and that's how they fly. Here's what's trending in the backstretch drive. You can see how close they are up on the Ovintiv big screen, and it is tight running, and they are rain to rain like a runaway freight train. But Evan Salmon, the Haviland aircraft on the inside, Dayton Sutherland, Truman Holmes on the outside, and here comes Darcy Fladd. He's going flat out. He's hunting down the snow wrap of the Haviland aircraft of Canada. He's looking for the luggage compartment on that big airplane, but that airplane's headed for the touchdown. The landing on the runway is coming at him, and Evan Salmon opens him up, and here comes Dayton Sutherland, Truman Holmes, as they head for that flight out for the finish line. Can he do it? Evan Salmon by a nose over Dayton Sutherland. Wayfinder Corporation with Darcy Fladd.
And unofficially, it is Evan Salmon winning heat number 5 in a time of 1:13.55, and another great wagon race as they were going wheel to wheel down that back stretch as we take a look at Darcy Fladd's start on the Brant Ag replay.
Yeah, Darcy, he cuts his 3-barrel. I mean, you can't cut it any closer, and they got out of there, but he just got 2 guys that turned as good as he did on the inside and couldn't get around them. Dayton's, this outfit's working. They worked last night, and they're working again tonight. He's the beautiful cut of the top barrel, and away he goes.
And Dayton currently 13th in the WPCA standings, and we saw Mitch Sutherland driving twice so far in the first 4 heats, and Dayton working hard too at the Rangeland Derby because he's out riding for Kurt Bensmiller and Jason Glass here as well.
Yeah, he jumps off and goes and outrides, and the reason you do that, well, I did it because I didn't have enough money to pay my outriders, so I had to go make some money to pay them. So. But it works when you're young and you're full of vinegar, and away you go.
And of course, Dayton Sutherland, his dad Mark, we saw him so many years here at the Calgary Stampede, as well as Grandpa Kelly. I mean, it's just the bloodlines here. When you look, you need one of those family trees for the Sutherlands as you look at this close finish again, trying to connect all the dots when it comes to the Sutherland family.
There's some great races.
Yeah, we've had a couple of photo finishes tonight as well. We had 3 last night, and the racing has been very exciting here over the first 3 nights. We've had some very fast times coming out of heat number 1, and we had a very fast time coming out of heat number 5 as we go to Billy Melville with Evan Salmon.
Well, you restored my faith in the 1-barrel, Evan, one of the few guys that have won it on their great run out there tonight. Tell us about it.
Yeah, finally. Been struggling a little bit the last few days, but we knew we had the horsepower to do it. We just had a good turn and kind of had to give it to him a little bit to keep my nose in there, but it all worked out.
Yeah, you had to use a little bit of, he almost got you at the start and almost got you at the finish, but you used up a little bit of horse to keep him off the rail, and that was the difference tonight, looks like.
Yeah, it seems like you got to have the rail here first couple nights, or not very easy to pass here.
Well, you're starting to run now. Let's keep her up the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, Evan Salmon.
Great stuff, Billy. Great job, Evan. And as we take a look at some of the pictures, one of the great celebrations of community and culture over the Calgary Stampede and the Scotiabank Saddle Dome, the Calgary Stampede Power.
Calgary Stampede Lotteries, the greatest ways to win. Win over $2.2 million in prizes, including the greatest dream home, while giving back to your community. Get your tickets now at calgarystampede.com/lotteries.
Priestley Demolition is leading the way with innovative strategies and new technology that is highly efficient, delivering superior quality to clients that is both smart and sustainable. PDI can move your project forward faster and safer than ever before. Call us today and follow us on social media.
Sometimes the difference between a summer pool party and the pool party of the summer is an ice-cold drink from McDonald's. Like a refreshing small fruit splash beverage for just $2 plus tax. Step up your summer today.
Money is a thing. You're told to make money, invest money, save money, while others are encouraging you to spend your money. You might even be planning your money based on someone else's plan. Maybe it's time to do things differently and get obsessed over something other than money, like building a path based on what's important to you.
We understand money's a thing, but it's not everything. Edward Jones, we do money differently.
Welcome back to the 2024 Calgary Stampede from downtown Calgary, Alberta. Night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby, and one of the photo finishes from a night ago. Back up on cue tonight.
Heat number 6 ready to go, presented by IHOP, and this will feature 2 of the drivers from the Canadian Professional Chuckwagon Association. Off the number 1 barrel, it'll be Danny Ringette, currently 2nd in the CPCA standings. Off that number 2 barrel, it'll be Wade Salmon. And off the number 3 barrel, Dallas Dick, currently 4th in the Canadian Professional Chuckwagon Association standings.
This Dallas Dick outfit last year, I don't know whether they're all the same horses or not. Boy, they started hard last year. And the first couple of days here, they've been hitting it, jumping out of there. He had a misfortune one night and took a big penalty, so he's kind of out of that average. But there's some day monies out there, Doug. I think the first day money is 6,000 or 6,500, probably 5,500 for second, 5, 4 down the line, and there's some good money to be made there. 10 days, that's 60,000 if you win them all. But
and of course you've got to pay your expenses. It's not inexpensive to go down the road as a chuckwagon driver, and we saw it in the auction. Of course, a lot of the money that's put up for these tarps helps these drivers continue to compete.
Well, if it wasn't for these sponsors, there wouldn't be any chuckwagon racing, because they're the guys that help them get down the road, and there's some awesome sponsors out there.
And we're ready for heat number 6 as they pull into the infield. Dallas Dick, Danny Ringette, and Wade Salmon. Here's Les.
There's a horn, and the charge is a quick one. Wade Salmon and his de Havilland Aircraft of Canada clear the runway. We've got liftoff. His flight attendants right in behind him. And then you see Dallas Dick to the outside and Danny Ringette to the inside. And they're chasing a de Havilland Aircraft around the turn. And they better have all the speed you need, because Wade Salmon looks like he's hard to catch tonight. Landing gear up. Northbound and down as Wade Salmon leads that backstretch run in the sun. And here they come. Dallas Dick, McGinnis Enterprises to the outside. Danny Ringette, Lookout and Omniscient. It's a digital operation into that third turn. And those Smithfield Outriders are gaining the ground on our leaders with every stride. They want to be in that 150-foot line. But look at this guy. We are flying high tonight. And we're about to put the landing gear down in the home stretch drive. Calgary, it's your turn to come alive. Wade Salmon points him to that play Alberta finish line. The uncatchable Wade Salmon, de Havilland Aircraft. Touchdown, runway 1. He gets there by 2. Look at this race. Oh, my goodness.
And Wade Salmon with the fastest time of the night in it unofficially so far. Heat number 6, 1:11.89, Tom.
Yep, he was flying out of there. And,
here's the Brant Ag replay as we take a look at Wade Salmon start.
Boy, they started and went up there nice, smooth little bog there. Lead team got a little lost for a second, but out there he went.
Here's a look at Dallas Dick's start now.
His right-hand leader, I was talking about how good they start, but his right-hand leader wasn't listening to me, because he didn't start and he didn't run out of there, so just kind of held him up for a few minutes and just let Wade get a start, a jump on him. Doug, I think what's happening is these drivers in these first heats been talking or listening to us guys talk about all the money's being won in the last 3 heats. Top 10 wagons are all in the last 3 heats. Well, I think they're trying to change that tonight.
And of course the redraw is coming as well, and you want to move into some of those later heats because that means your running times are very fast.
Yeah.
And this was a very fast heat number 6. Wade Salmon unofficially in a time of 1:11.89. So the only driver from the World Professional Chuckwagon Association in this heat, finishing ahead of Dallas Dick and Danny Ringette, the 2 drivers from the Canadian Professional Chuckwagon Association.
Yeah, we got 4 112s, and now we got an 11, so it's probably at least a second faster than last night, maybe a second and a half. So.
Yeah, in ideal conditions, of course, the temperature in the high 20s today here in Calgary. We've got some heat warnings in effect, but a sold-out crowd of more than 20,000 people here, and Wade Salmon celebrating as he goes past that grandstand. Brendan.
Thanks, Doug. Back-to-back, the Salmon brothers, at least unofficially, in the mix here on night number 3. Let's take a look at some results from earlier. We got Heat 4 results now official, and Mitch Sutherland in the wagon box for his father, Kirk. He got the win earlier in the evening and then steps back in for his own outfit in Heat 4 and goes 1:12.50 for his second straight win on night number 3 here. So Mitch Sutherland does it again ahead of Ross Knight and Chance Bensmiller. Ross Knight, one of the few guys who had back-to-back wins on the first couple of nights. He has to sit there as the second wagon across the line. And then here's our Heat 5 now official as Evan Salmon gets the victory, 1:13.58. Another close finish. Dayton Sutherland was closing in the home stretch but wasn't able to finish off the gap and finishes back at 1:13.66. Darcy Floud rounds out that field in Heat number 5. We're through 2/3 of night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby. As we look ahead, we're celebrating some of the traditions here at the Calgary Stampede, and maybe none more important than our Indigenous roots.
First Nations people have a connection to this land, have a connection to everything across the prairies. Horses have always been a really powerful spirit for our people.
They all have a spirit, and their spirit is strong. You got to be prepared to take it on.
Priestley Demolition is leading the way with innovative strategies and new technology that is highly efficient, delivering superior quality to clients that is both smart and sustainable. PDI can move your project forward faster and safer than ever before. Call us today and follow us on social media.
The funniest movie of the summer is now in theaters. Despicable Me 4 in theaters now.
Welcome to No Frills.
You can find value in every aisle. With Price Drop, we have thousands of lowered prices every day.
Outfitting Canadians and Wranglers for decades, Lamley's is proud to be the official Western wear supplier of the Calgary Stampede. Step into the lifestyle and live your own West with Lamley's Western wear. Welcome back to the Calgary Stampede as we are closing out the first weekend, and we've had lots of spectators coming through, and one of the areas that they often go and check out is the Elbow River Camp, and you can go and check out some of the powwow, the celebrations that are going on there, and of course it's over at the Scotiabank Saddledome as well over the next 2 nights. One of the biggest in Canada, one of the biggest prize money handed out as well, over $200,000, and that'll wrap up tomorrow at the Scotiabank Saddledome, and that's really part of it here when we talk about the history and tradition of chuckwagon racing and the celebration over 101 years, starting right here at the Calgary Stampede. It was 96 years ago. Dave Crowchild was the first First Nations driver to make an appearance at the Calgary Stampede, and he paved the way for the next generations. And maybe none more impressive than the career of Ray Mitsewing, 36 years consecutively here at the Calgary Stampede driving. He was an inspiration to the next drivers coming in and continues to be with that great legacy he left in this sport.
First Nations people have a connection to this land, have a connection to everything across the prairies. Horses have always been a really powerful spirit for our people. And the reason why we emphasize the buffalo as well is because the buffalo spirit is the one that gave us clothing, gave us food, and gave us shelter for our families, for our children. And horses, they helped us hunt the buffalo, so we really respect the horse spirit.
The horses can't speak to us, but they can feel our energy, whatever it might be. They all have a spirit, and their spirit is strong. You got to be prepared to take it on.
Bigger, better, more exciting every year.
Through the culture that we've been growing up with, was important to understand care and the respect of animals. We were always horsemen.
Growing up, we had, Spider-Man and Superman and all these guys, and those are a lot of people's heroes. But growing up, Chuckwagon drivers were my heroes. Greats like Ray Mitsling, guys like that, have been there and done that, and you look up to all these years.
Ray Mitsling, he's just been inducted into the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame. That just goes to show how many consecutive times he's been here. It was important to be able to have them role models, the mentors, for us to be able to shoot for.
I can honestly say Chuckwagon racing and horses have saved my life. And they've done wonders for my children as well.
Where the sport has taken us as people and us as competitors. To be
able to come and to race here at the Calgary Stampede is just a dream come true for me and my family, to represent our nation, to represent our flag here.
Take it to the next level in terms of the professionalism, the horsemanship.
And I hope that one day we can have our name in the history books just like Ray did, because he is definitely one of the best.
Obviously, saw Preston win his heat earlier, and you talked to Preston. Just so much pride, and you listen to the way that they viewed things, the history, and then of course how much they shoulder in terms of carrying that history on. What do you make of just Preston and and Todd Baptiste and the guys that are kind of carrying the torch now moving forward?
Well, I'm glad that they're proud of their heritage, and they do have a rich heritage here at the Chuckwagon races. And you heard Preston Faithful say that horses have probably saved him. Well, it's kind of like Winston Churchill used to say, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man, and Preston Faithful is that. And they're proud to be members of their nations. They're role models for their nations. Preston Faithful for the Frog Lake First Nation, and obviously Todd Baptiste for the Red Pheasant Cree Nation. Those guys are their youth looks up to these guys, and maybe we'll see more Preston Faithfuls and more Todd Baptiste in the game, and that'll make Chuckwagon racing strong and very good for a long, long time.
101 years and counting, and look forward to seeing more. Take the reins moving forward, and then the years moving forward. And now, just if we could look at the reins that have been in the hands of Jason Glass so far through 2 nights, he's driven them perfectly, and right now sits at the top of the aggregate. Everybody's chasing the checkerboard.
You always want to go out there and run well, and I think you need to be very patient. You can't you can't be fast when you're trying to rebuild a wagon outfit. And we always talk about rebuilding, and every year's slightly different for all of us. It's a process, and I think it's ongoing. You're always rebuilding and trying to improve your outfit. And we've only run 2 nights here, so there's a lot of things that are going to change, and so we're going to just take it day by day, and hopefully we can hold it together somewhat.
So Jason Glass is the man to beat, but there's plenty of horsepower and plenty of quality drivers trying to chase him down, including the 4-time champ, Kurt Bensmiller. He's coming up next.
As a proud equipment partner of the Calgary Stampede, Rocky Mountain Equipment is a strong supporter of agriculture and the communities in which we serve. With 43 locations stretched across Western Canada, RME is your preferred Case IH equipment dealer, providing equipment solutions and support when you need it. The right parts, service, and equipment all at the right time. RME, right by you.
1 in 6 Alberta men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Be an advocate for men's health with the Prostate Cancer Center. Visit prostatecancercenter.ca for more information. Cowboys get checked too.
Celebrating 50 years of unforgettable experiences in the heart of Calgary, South Centre Mall, a hub of community with diverse shopping and support of local initiatives. Well, it's Family Day at the Calgary Stampede, the first Sunday here in downtown Calgary. We know everybody loves to come check out the Chuckwagon racing, but how about the kids? Through the eyes of the children, what are their highlights coming to the Stampede?
I like the wagon racing, but I don't mind the midway food.
Fun working with the horses and stuff and hanging out with everyone.
Usually I pony horses, so when they're cleaning stalls, I have the horses so they're not in the way.
Candy apple is my favorite food, and my favorite drink is the lemonade.
Well, there'll be a few lemonades going down over the course of the week because with the heat in effect, it's going to be lemonade season, boys.
Heat number 7 presented by IHOP, and after that I'm thinking IHOP. I could go do with some pancakes, but this is a loaded heat number 7 as you take a look at the drivers circling in the practice run so far. Off the number 1 barrel will be Aubrey Monowillo, who is the track record holder, 109.61. Off the number 2 barrel, it'll be Chris Molly, the 2022 champion here at the Stampede. And off of the 3 barrel, it'll be Kurt Bensmiller, a 4-time Stampede champion. So this heat is loaded, Tom.
Well, they are in their 6th, 8th, and 9th, or 10th. So they're just on the outside of that. Kind of, they're all looking for that top 4. Little early to get excited, but that's your goal that you have in mind.
Time to pick up the pace, and let's go to Les for the call.
There's the horn in, they're off, and look at them guys. Look at Kurt Bensmiller tight to that 3 barrel. Now he KO'd it. Devastation for Grey Eagle. And there goes up the middle Chris Smalley and Graf Mechanical to the outside. Kurt Bensmiller disappointed, and he's got some speed. However, back in behind you'll find Aubrey Monowillo. Tourmaline oil, and he lines him up. He's got him well oiled tonight. He's going to take on the Duke of Dewberry when they go down that backstretch, and here's what's trending on the far side. It's Chris Smalley, Graf Mechanical, the 022 champion, breaks into the sunlight of the Rangeland Derby Grandstand, and he's got company coming. Kurt Bensmiller, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, checking his stride, and now they're moving in from behind. That's Aubrey Monowillo, the Hopley Hornet. He'd like to put the sting on this operation, but you can't pass what you can't catch, and Chris Smalley is uncatchable tonight. Graf Mechanical heading for that Play Alberta finish line. Good golly, Chris Smalley, you got company coming. Open them up, buddy. And it is Chris Smalley in the wire, a half a horse length ahead of Kurt Bensmiller in the Grey Eagle with Aubrey Monowillo.
And it's Chris Smalley, the 2022 Rangeland Derby champion, unofficially winning heat number 7 in a very fast time of 1:11.77. But we're going to take a look at Kurt Bensmiller's start here on the Brant Ag replay, and disaster strikes for the 4-time champion.
Yeah, gets up there, turns the top barrel very nice, just misses it by a foot, does a great job there, but he doesn't get him far enough around that top one to get out there without hitting the bottom of the bottom barrel.
Chris Smalley with a good start.
Chris Smalley, look at that turn in the top. You don't want to get any closer to that. He missed that hub missed that barrel by 2 inches, and that's what you call throwing it at him, and away you go.
So Chris Smalley cutting it close, but it pays off for him in heat number 7. But Kurt Bensmiller, who told us yesterday, said that he's got a bit of a green barn this time around. Some young horses that he's working into the mix, and you know, as we heard from Jason Glass as well, you've got to, you know, bring these horses along. So perhaps, you know, Kurt Bensmiller dealing with some barn issues right now.
It just takes one bobble, you know, Doug, when you're turning there and one horse kind of jumps sideways 2 feet or moves over this way a couple of feet just to throw you off. And that little 3 barrel, there's not much room in between it. You got to keep cranking to get past that bottom, and usually it's the back wheel that catches it because you can't get your wagon around it to slide.
Yeah, Chris Molly unofficially winning heat number 7 in a time of 1:11.77. He's currently 8th in the World Professional Chuckwagon Association standings. And Aubrey Montowillo in there as well, the Calgary Stampede track record holder, 1:09.61. And Kurt Bensmiller picking up 5 seconds in penalties. And Kurt, a 4-time Stampede champion, 7 times to the finals, was in the final last year, finishing second to eventual Stampede champion Lane McGilvray. And so now Kurt Bensmiller has some time to make up here in the final 7 nights of the Rangeland Derby. All right, let's go to Billy Melville now, who is with the winner of heat number 7, Chris Molly.
Chris, normally I don't have to wait this long to ride with you, but looks like things are going pretty good right now.
Yeah, hopefully we're clean, and it was they felt good, so they're starting to click for me, so hopefully they keep her up.
Well, you know what it takes to get it done to win this show. You were champion here a couple of years ago. Last year didn't quite go as well, but do you think their guys are starting to peak right now for you?
Yeah, I think so. You know, got some young ones next in the bunch here, some first-year horses on the left side here, so it's a good feeling, and they're only going to get stronger.
Is this the same guys that you hooked off of number 1 last night?
Yeah, you betcha.
Okay. Well, it looks like everything's going good. Everything's running good. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me.
All righty, Chris Molly.
Thanks, Billy. Chris Molly unofficially winning heat number 7 in a very fast time of 1:11.77, and the track is speeding up as we get ready for heat number 8. Chance Fegan was the winner of heat 8 with the fastest time last night, but Jason Glass leads the aggregate. They're coming up next when we return.
This program is brought to you in part by Yeti. Yeti, built for the wild. The Calgary Stampede Rodeo, tomorrow on Sportsnet 1.
We're back for night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby, and the 2 fastest heats on both the first 2 nights are due up next. It is heat 8 and a couple of the top front runners so far this week.
Heat number 8 presented by IHOP, and it should be another good one because these drivers have been flying so far through the first two nights. Off the number 1 barrel, it'll be Jason Glass, the 2013 Stampede champion, leading the aggregate so far. Chance Fegan off the number 2 barrel, and of course Chance was the fastest last night. And Jamie Labicane, who was very fast last night but had a couple of seconds in penalties. So all 3 of these drivers capable of putting up the fastest time of the night. So we take a look at Jason Glass.
They're 3 very good outfits here, and they're all been working, and everybody's been driving. The outfit kind of jumped ahead of Jamie just before the horn last night, got ahead of the barrel, got a 2-second penalty, but otherwise he's been right there. Jason's running tough. Chance is running tough. This will be a great wagon race.
Yeah, Jamie Labicane won the Grand Prairie Stampede to open the WPCA season. He's currently 7th in the standings. Jason Glass and Chance Fegan, you can't get any closer when it comes to them in the WPCA standings, since they got a 5-6 split going on, both of them with 615.5 points. So those 2 can't get any closer.
Oh, boys.
A little bit hooked up right now as we take a look at the fans in the stands, and it is absolutely perfect as far as the conditions are concerned here tonight for night number 3. More than 20,000 people on the grounds for Family Day, and we heard from some of the young family members of the Chuckwagon drivers, all big supporters of this sport, but also, as you can tell, interested in some of the food on the midway. And we're all set now for heat number 8, as Jamie Labicane will be off that number 3 barrel. Off the number 2 barrel, it'll be Chance Fegan. And off the number 1 barrel, it'll be Jason Glass as they get set for heat number 8. Let's go upstairs now for the call with Les McIntyre in his 4th decade of Chuckwagon announcing.
The horn sounds and the charge is underway as Outriders load up and mount up. There goes Jamie Labicane. There goes Jason Glass. Birch Cliff Energy 2 wheels it onto the track in front of Chance Fegan. with Jamie Lavicane around the outside, and we are playing checkers tonight. Let's make some moves into that second turn. Barrels are up. Smithfield Outriders looking good, and Jason Glass is doing what he loves to do, outrun the field. Best of company by almost 2 as he sent him into the backstretch run and hits the son of the Rangeland Derby. Now look at this guy. Backfield's in motion. Here comes Giants Vegan, KMA Construction and Scaffolding, and he's constructing some speed. He's putting the run on outside runner Jamie Lavicane and Buckle Vodka. Time to buckle down, Jamie. You got the Rangeland Derby Rockstar, and they're all hunting down the checkerboard, and here he comes. Jason Glass, Birchcliff Energy, leaders in the oil and gas industry, leaders on the racetrack, as Jason Glass heads from that Plain Alberta finish line. They're not going to catch the checkers tonight. Jason got 1.5. Chance Vegan and horse length ahead of Jamie Lavicane.
Jason Glass of High River, Alberta, unofficially winning heat number 8 in the fastest time of the night so far, a blistering 1:10.77, and Tom's having trouble containing himself again, understandably. The brand
what a beautiful race. Here's Jamie Lavicane on the 3-barrel. Gets a little high and gets out there at ways, but kind of made a turn that got by the barrel a little bit, which, and there's Jason, man, they punched it and they went up there. Look at that old lead team bend around there. Nice turn on the one, comes out of there running and never looked back.
1:10.77 unofficially, and that would be exactly 1 second faster than Chris Molly's time in heat number 7. So Jason was leading the aggregate already. I mean, it's still early. It's night number 3.
There's one more heat.
Yeah, no, exactly, and it's going to be a very fast heat number 9 as well. But, I mean, this is a great start because you want to work your way into a position to be in the top 3 on the last night.
And, you know, everybody's been nervous about that 1-barrel. What's going on with that 1-barrel? Well, you just go, Jason asked me, and I said, just go drive it like you always do. You got the outfit and you can handle them. So this big left-hand wheeler, we got him here 2 months ago. They shipped him from New York to here, and he had a few problems, and they just said, you pay the truck and you can have him. And he's been on the winning outfit here 2 months later at the Calgary Stampede. He's a big giant there with his head cut. Just amazing.
And clearly a good investment for Jason Glass, and Billy Melville is in the wagon with Jason.
Well, Jason, unofficially, it looks like that could be the top time of the night. You didn't like second place 2 nights in a row. Is that what I'm getting that from you here?
I don't know, Billy. They want to work. They're doing everything right. They're going into the barrels nice. They're starting. They're running like hell. So I'm very proud of them.
All 4 starting even, and boy, they got a lot of snap out on the racetrack there.
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything. They got some early speed, and they don't seem to weaken. They're very strong.
Well, if they're doing anything wrong, you just let them keep doing it. All right.
Yeah, you know it. I'm just going to let them do their job, and I'll try to keep up to them.
All right, Jason Glass.
Good stuff there from Billy and Jason as we look ahead to the 9th and final race of night number 3. And it's number 3 in the aggregate. He's sitting in that enviable position, top 3. He's coming up next.
Introducing the new garlic parmesan.
It's the all-new fresh one.
The new jalapeno cheddar.
Get back in time with new throwback sauces only at McDonald's.
All right, welcome back as the Outriders hit the track for one last heat tonight. Let's get you some results from earlier this evening. They were holding heat number 1, but we now have those results official, and what you needed to know was the guy who crossed the finish line in first stays in first. Troy Dorchester picks up his 2nd heat win of this Calgary Stampede, and it's another really good time. 1:12.38 keeps him right there in the mix. Jordy Fike rounds it out, as well as Doug Irvine in that heat number 1, but there's Troy Dorchester, who's got a couple of heat wins under his belt as we move into the redraw coming up tomorrow night. He'll definitely be coming out of that heat number 1 as we look ahead to the final heat of the night, boys.
Heat number 9, presented by IHOP. Let's put a smile on your face, and these drivers are going to work hard to wipe the smile off the face of Jason Glass after that run.
Yeah, good luck with that.
In heat number 8, as we get ready for what should be a very fast wagon race. We'll take a look at Ray Crotto Jr.'s start from last night to get you set up for tonight.
There you go. They kind of pulled him off the seat. He's just going to stay down there. He's not getting back up on the seat. He'll drive him standing up, and away he goes. He's driving good this year. That outfit's working awesome, and he's going to be tough. He's sitting in there 3rd right now, and Ray Jr., he don't weaken much.
Yeah, and Ray Crotto Jr. currently 1st in the World Professional Chuckwagon Association standings, and coming off a 2nd place finish in Pinoca by 1/100th of a second. Chad Fike, who had the fastest time on night number 1, will be off that 2-barrel, and Lane McGilvery will be off the number 1 barrel. We're set to go, and here's Les.
There's the horn, and they're off. Ray Crotto Jr., dynamic capital, dynamic speed, misses that bottom barrel when he gets out there in the lead, but he's got some tough company on the inside as Chad Fike and Summit Fleet charge in behind the stove rack of the Rainbow Rider, and on the rail is Lane McGilvery trailing, and that is Shady Creek Ranch in and out of the shade of the grandstand, and he's going wheel to wheel right now with Chad Fike. But look at the rainbow, not a cloud in the sky, and we got a rainbow in the backstretch with Ray Crotto at the helm, and he has got a length in the quarter lead, but now things will change, and here they come. Here comes Chad Fike, Summit Fleet. He wants to reach that summit at the finish line, and his horses are Fleet tonight. And look at that guy on the inside, Lane McGilvery, the reigning champion. He knows what it takes to outrun Ray Crotto Jr., and here he comes. Southbound and down, the louder you cheer, the quicker he'll be here. Ray Crotto Jr., dynamic capital, heading for that play Alberta finish line with Summit Fleet and Chad Fike right there, a horse length behind.
It's got to be Ray Crotto Jr. unofficially winning heat number 9 in a time of 1:11.02. And we're going to take a look at Chad Fike's start on the Brant Ag replay.
Well, they started real well for Chad. And, nice turn on the top, and away he goes. But Ray Crotto off that 3-barrel. He just, watch this, they start and crank that top. He just always liked them short barrels. Some guys do, some don't, but man, he went out of there enough to get the rail and hung on all the way to the finish line to win the heat.
Yeah, so unofficially, Ray Crotto Jr. winning heat number 9 in a time of 1:11.02, and Jason Glass unofficially heat number 8, 1:10.77. So if that holds up, Jason Glass will have the fastest time of the night, and Ray Crotto Jr. will be right there as well. So shaping up to be some great times here in these final heats heading into the redraw.
It's awesome. I like it. And some great races, just some awesome races. And I mean, look at the outfits, Chance and Jeremy and the whole bunch of them. I mean, they're putting on a show. The guys up front now tonight, the 112s and the 111s. In the earlier heat, so the shake-up is later tonight. They'll redraw all these wagons, and I'm not sure who's even going to be in that last heat. It'll be, I believe Jason will be in there, and maybe Chance, and then I'm not sure. Chad Fike, probably Ray Crotto. It'll be
it's too close to call at this point, but you know what? We'll just wait for the official results, and then we'll know as you look at Ray Crotto Jr. and Chad Fike coming by the grandstand. We saw the salutes from the Outriders as well, and a great show tonight for more than 20,000 people on hand for night 3 of the Rangeland Derby, Brendan.
Awesome.
Great couple of races to finish things off here tonight, and I guess that's where we stand. Is we'll just see what it all looks like when it comes official here in moments. We're back to wrap up night number 3 and figure out what it all looks like heading into the redraw tomorrow night.
Nice dress. And tons of cash back, too. What? With Rakuten. It's a shopping app that saves you money. Unbelievable.
This is unbelievable.
Right? You're gonna get so much cash back. Okay, I'm gonna go change.
So, what do you think?
I think this new deck looks amazing.
Imagine impressing your neighbors with proprietary decking and railing products from Decorators.
Sun is setting on downtown Calgary, Alberta, and we wrap up night number 3 of the Rangeland Derby here at the Calgary Stampede. And let's get you some results as we finish off the evening here. And we have to go all the way back. We got a bunch to catch you up on. We'll go all the way back to heat number 6, and this was won by Wade Solomon. It's in his second year at the Calgary Stampede. Top rookie from a year ago, 1:11.92, gets the victory here tonight ahead of Danny Ringette and Dallas Dick. And it was Wade Solomon all the way around in front, and he takes the heat victory here, his first of the Calgary Stampede 2024. Heat 7 was Chris Molly, the 2022 champion. He gets on the board with his first heat victory. He gets up and underneath that 1:12 benchmark, and that's going to be important as we look at the remaining times on these leaderboards. Molly ahead of Aubrey Mottawillo and Kurt Bensmiller, unfortunate with the +5 barrel down, but Molly was in control and out in front and gets the victory here on night number 3. And then we get to the fastest heats of the night. They've been that way for each of the first 3 nights of this Calgary Stampede, and we have our fastest time of the 2024 edition. Jason Glass does it again. He was second in both the first 2 nights. He said, enough of that. Let's just put down 1:10.78, and that checkerboard wagon led right from the start off the 1 barrel, and he finishes strong, and he takes the top time in heat number 8, and it looks like it's going to stand as the top time of the night because Ray Crotto put down a pace, 1:11 flat, but not enough to catch Jason Glass. So Ray Crotto will settle for second fastest on the evening ahead of Chad Fike and Layden McGilvery there on this night. So the Rainbow Wagon just in behind the checkerboard wagon, and that's where we bring you back in as we welcome Billy Melville. He's fresh back from the track as well, and we'll get to where we stand here and try to unpack things as we get into the redraw. But first, let's get to our Horse Racing Alberta as they present our equine athlete of the night. And tonight, fittingly enough, it comes from that checkerboard wagon, heat number 8, the left lead for Jason Glass, XI Kid.
Yes, and he's a 7-year-old Alberta-bred horse that Jason gave $10,000 for him, and he's really been a natural on the left side of the wagon. I talked to Jason earlier, and he's been on the left wheel, but he's since moved him up on the left lead, and he fits so well with the right leader, Chaska. And the two of them have obviously just been getting the job done, and what a great horse that he is. You can see him; he's on the right side, our right side, looking at him right now. But no, a good left leader, bring him right up past the top barrel and run down the stretch the way that he's been going. So that is our equine athlete of the night.
Our equine athlete of the night is presented by Horse Racing Alberta. We talked about it off the top. It is an important night, and each one that we do, the redraw, we get to kind of get a better sense of where everybody's been at as far as running times throughout the week, because they reset it based on those running times. And no surprises, we look at some of the favorites near the end. Heats 8 and 9 are going to be stacked and stay there. But I think it's important that we recognize a couple of the other wagons that are moving their way up. And Wade Solomon, one of those guys, had kind of an interesting night number 1, but he's run clean, he's run fast on nights 2 and 3.
Yes, and there was an adjustment made to his time because of the little situation that happened. He was given an average time, which was a good, and it was a fair break that he got, and he's been running pretty good. The horses got the job done last night. Wade got the job done here tonight, and you just look at that. I mean, he is way out front there, and so great run for Wade Solomon there. Now, when you combine that, what we just saw, with what we're about to see right now with the 4-time champion Kurt Bensmiller. And this is, well, yeah, this is, you look at that great run for Wade, and then look at right there, the whammy came up and got Kurt, and that is an expensive 5 seconds, especially when you have to be in the top 3. But hey, as we said, there isn't an ill wind that blows for somebody that isn't good news for somebody else, and you just pointed out one right there in Wade Solomon.
So both the Salmon brothers get on the board here tonight with heat wins in 5 and 6. And this is interesting because 111, we were talking about it, the times are getting a little bit faster. So even though Salmon gets the heat win at 111.92, it's quick. Only the 7th fastest on the night, which leads us to our aggregate times. And Jason Glass will stay right there at the very top because he's been quick on every single night. 2-2 and a first place tonight in terms of day money win, which keeps him at the top of the aggregate. Ray Crotto moves up 1 spot. He's there in 2. And Chad Fike, as you mentioned, that's the coveted position. 1, 2, and 3 as we get you a little bit closer to Championship Sunday.
Yes, and this is going to tighten up here over this next draw because, as you mentioned, with the redraw, these guys are going to be hooked with the guys that have been running similar speeds to what they've been doing. So that's going to really make things tight. It's going to tighten up. And also remember, if you take a look at the last couple of years with Chris Smalley and Ross Knight that got in there, I mean, the only night that they were in the top 3 was the last night. So watch out for those guys that are just outside there right now because we've seen that happen. That top 3 is not safe right now. We're just getting started. The running is just starting now, I think.
Well, and we mentioned Salmon, and you should mention at the bottom of that leaderboard on the aggregate, too, is Troy Dorchester. He's just kind of poking around, and we mentioned him off the top, had the Heat 1 win in night number 1, and then right back at it tonight, and then he has got himself in that top 10 right now as well.
Oh, and he's doing well. He finished, I think, 10th last year, but it wasn't certainly as dynamic as what he's been doing this year. I mean, he's made 2 fantastic runs in 3 days. Last night, it was a little bit of a doggish run, but anyways, he gets a free pass on that because he's been looking pretty good so far this year.
Bounce back here tonight for Troy Dorchester, but once again, it's Jason Glass that everyone's going to be trying to chase as we hit the redraw and look ahead to night number 4 coming up tomorrow night at the Rangeland Derby. Capacity crowds all 3 evenings inside GMC Stadium, expecting more of the same as the sunshine continues tomorrow night and the heat cranks up just a little bit more. Night number 4 is coming your way tomorrow night, same time, same channel, 8:30 p.m. Mountain, 10:30 Pacific, or 10:30 Eastern, I should say, and we'll see you right back here on Sportsnet for night 4 tomorrow.
Welcome to the 1976 Spruce Meadows Masters, and this afternoon we'll be featuring highlights of the $10,000 Fleischmann's Grand Prix.
Ian Miller and Big Ben, our 1991 Laurier Limited International Champion.
I invite you and Bill on behalf of Team Canada to step forward for the first time.
31 years!
Team Canada, ladies and gentlemen, led by Torchy Miller. First in the history of this sport to lay claim to the Rolex Grand Slam of show jumping. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Brash. The road to the Paris Olympics runs right through Spruce Meadows as we get ready to present the RBC Grand Prix presented by Rolex. Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Dirks alongside Ian Allison. And Ian, if you talk about a test, getting ready for Paris, this is a good one.
The road is getting shorter and the tests are getting harder. An immense test today in the international ring. Olaf Peterson Jr. has set out 13 numbered obstacles. Much of the Spruce Meadows Championship collection in this course. The test starts early and then it finishes with a very big power test at the triple combination.
A lot of international riders, but the Canadians are peaking at just the right time as well.
Isn't it a great era for Canadian show jumping? There's a lot of new names, new horses, and there's a fiercely contested rivalry to try and make the cut to go to Paris. And Erin Ballard has been nothing short of phenomenal so far. Let's see if she can get it done today as well.
The third member of our broadcast crew, Alex Grayton, a professional rider, off to a pretty good start here as well during the summer series.
Yeah, clear rounds in the international ring today. He's changing up the saddle for the microphone and going to join us with some great comments from on course. So far in the RBC Grand Prix of Canada presented by Rolex, clear rounds have been a rare commodity. Elena Haas of the United States, 23 faults as she had trouble throughout this Olaf Peterson designed course, as well as with the clock. Australian Olympic veteran Scott Keach riding Nobel de la Chapelle. This is an 11-year-old warm blood gelding, not able to get in within the time allowed, also encountering some difficulties in the championship suite of jumps. And the next generation of Whitaker, Donald Whitaker aboard DiCaprio. One-time fault and one rail down in his first ever 5-star at Spruce Meadows. How many clears will advance to the jump off here at Spruce Meadows? We have yet to see one, but what horsepower still to come, including many strong Canadians.
Here's our first Canadian in the RBC Grand Prix of Canada, presented by Rolex, and this is the veteran Canadian rider Tiffany Foster, currently ranked 22nd in the world.
Really get into and gain invitations to any events in the world by virtue of her world ranking status. We're very fortunate to have Tiffany at Spruce Meadows for the Summer Series as part of her 2024 journey. She's got a great stable of horses. Battle Cry, this 10-year-old gelding, is one we've watched come on for the last couple of years. Now seems to be very much at home in the international ring.
And Tiffany was a member of the Canadian team that finished 4th at Rio 2016 Olympics. The clear round and the final there considered her career highlights so far, and would love to capitalize on that with an Olympic berth in Paris.
Very strong ride there to the French master vertical coming off the water. She really had to guide this big black guy to that fence in a proper way. He's just 10 years of age, so just coming into his own as an international show jumper. And now she gets a little bit of the technical part of the later stages of the course, the vertical, and then this big sushi oxer. Give a rub there. And now she'll give him time to set up for this triple. Very much experienced at riding at this pace, so should have her mental clock going. Got a break there at the Oxer, so always our first clear round in the cards.
Time not looking like a factor, well under the time for Tiffany Foster of Canada. A clear round, our first one in a blazing fast time of 80.4 seconds.
Well, she knew she wanted to keep this big black horse on the forward, moving forward the whole time. She never let up at all. She had to balance coming off the water, gets a little lucky at the triple combination, and there she's just beyond happy as Tiffany Foster aboard Battle Cry finish up. And that 10-year-old gelding has certainly earned his oats from the first round here today. There you see the difference in experience, if you will, because the clock was not an issue. She used the pace and she got it done, and now the pressure comes to our next entry.
Connor Swale of Ireland, you can see currently 19th in the world, 2016 RBC Grand Prix champion, has had a lot of success here over the years at Spruce Meadows. A familiar face here, a crowd favorite, and a seasoned veteran.
Charismatic Irishman, carrying the colors of Ireland on a very, very deep national roster right now. So within their own national federation, they're hotly contesting team selections all the time. And Connor Swale is a ferocious competitor. I don't anticipate time being an issue here. He always rides with great pace. He always has his horses well prepared to come in. And I think this big 11-year-old Holsteiner Castorano should be ready for the challenges that lay ahead.
Connor won that 2016 RBC Grand Prix. That was on Martha Louise, another one of his great horses.
Had a little bit of a touch there at the wall, and that top shelf of that wall is on very, very ginger footing. So you touch it the slightest and it will come down. So he got a bit of a break there, I think, as he now presses to the water. Now he'll check back. Seems to me I'm seeing a little rain falling in that water jump, so see how conditions hold up here. The footing in the international ring, though, is perfect, and even though it's had the jumping leading up today, it really is holding up very well.
Connor's off to a great start in the Summer Series here at Spruce Meadows. In 2024, he posted a win in the Mission Possible event aboard Gamble at the recent Continental Tournament, beating 95 other entrants. And he kicked off the national tournament with another victory on day one, this time on My Lady Vista in Friends of the Meadow event. So he's got a great stable of horses right now.
Front of that big grandstand on the west side here covers the Oxer nicely. So he's got about 14 seconds to get across the finish line as he comes into the triple combination. Horse seems to be in good form. Oh! And that's a tough break there. He got him set up. I think the horse just didn't give it the effort deserved on that vertical coming out of the triple, and he slowed up a bit coming down that final line, so he too incurs a time fault.
So Connor Swale of Ireland, currently ranked 19th in the world, peaked at number 4 in the world in August of 2022, has the 4 jump vaults, a 1-time vault for a total of 5.
He got lucky over the Liverpool, but here you see him in the triple. It was a good ride. I think it's just bad luck, but regardless, he would have had a time fault anyway. So Tiffany Foster remains at the top of the standings with the lone clear.
Yeah, and Connor Swale has said you can never stop learning ever. So he will go to the tape, figure out what went wrong there, and build upon it for the rest of the summer series. Here's another one of the top Canadians now on course. This is Amy Miller, currently 55th in the world standings. Now 47 years old. We're dating ourselves here, Ian, but I remember Amy when she was just a teenager here.
I remember her beside her dad as like a 7-year-old winning the keys to a Chrysler Cordoba in the international ring. So there you go. But she is a terrific international rider and has carried the Miller name very, very credibly in international arenas around the world. And one of the working moms on tour, too.
Yeah, competed for Canada at the 2016 Summer Olympics. Remember that team that finished 4th? Had a clear round in qualifying on Heroes.
And she spent an amazing amount of time out on course today with her father, who is the chef de keep now for Team Canada, Ian Miller, inspecting the course with all the other Canadian team eligible riders. And there she has the Tokyo Oxer down, so she's sitting on 4 faults. So that leaves Tiffany as the lone clear round still.
Gets through that triple as Amy Miller now comes to that final rail. Time not an issue, but 1 rail down for a total of 4. So we're now 11 horse rider combinations into this RBC Grand Prix of Canada presented by Rolex in just the 1 clear round. And that came courtesy of Tiffany Foster of Canada.
Truman just not able to get that front landing gear up in time to get out of the way of the front rail down in front of the main grandstand, and with that the only blemish on the scorecard. And there is Captain Canada looking on, and I'm sure he'll have the review promptly when Amy gets to the hitching ring.
Still more to come from the RBC Grand Prix of Canada at Spruce Meadows. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
It is not a machine, though the precision of its mechanics can draw some admiration. Propelled by a unique movement, graced with a singular drive, it has a personality of its own. It was born from a special bond. Crafted over years with infinite patience and utmost care. Listening to every tick, going over every move again and again to build a trust like no other. The kind of trust that allows you to push further, higher, always. The kind of trust that can transcend any challenge.
Spruce Meadows on Sportsnet, the RBC Grand Prix of Canada, presented by Rolex. Tell us, let's make the future friendly, together. WestJet, proud to be the official airline of Spruce Meadows. Book today at westjet.com. Kubota, built for those who do. ATCO, creating prosperity and opportunity for generations to come. Jeep, Canada's best-selling 4x4 SUV brand.
Welcome back to Spruce Meadows. We're nicely underway here in the RBC Grand Prix of Canada presented by Rolex. Let's go down to the course now where the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Alex Grayton, is standing by.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, I'm standing down here at the triple, which is 12 ABC, and this is proving to be quite a difficult part of the course, which you would expect from walking it. Is very scopy. The B element is really wide, and it's after the meat of the course, so all of the bold jumps have happened. We were asking the horses to be very careful and delicate in the Sushi Oxer, and then turn the corner away from home and find that scope again, one more gear. So this has been a very difficult spot, and I expect it to remain that way through the course.
Just one clear round so far in this RBC Grand Prix of Canada presented by Rolex, and that was by Canada's Tiffany Foster. And here's another one of the top Canadians off to a blazing start in the Summer Series at Spruce Meadows. This is Erin Ballard, who is currently 31st in the world, but as you mentioned, those rankings will change significantly given the way she started here.
There's a look at her day recently, first and second in the RBC Capital Markets Cup, and just off what Alex was saying, I didn't like the look of things off to the northwest. So I'm glad we're inside, Doug, because I think there might be a shower or more too on the way. But right now, perfect conditions out in the stadium. But this young lady is just the consummate horseman. She rides 10 horses a day. She's adjustable. She's aggressive. She's passionate about the horses. Speaking with her recently, she cannot get enough of them, even on her day off here for a trail ride up in the mountains.
Yeah, Erin finished first and second at the RBC Capital Markets Cup at the National, and also had a first and second at the Continental as well. So she's busy beating herself.
And she swapped the horses, reverse order, yeah.
Exactly, two different horses going 1-2 in different events.
And interestingly, in today's Grand Prix event, this is the third of her top horses right now. A new mount for her, Nika, formerly ridden by Beth Underhill. And they are just sorting things out, just months into their relationship. But veteran horse with veteran rider, I expect that they'll have great chemistry rather promptly.
And Erin, after that last victory, said, every time I go into the ring now, I think I have a chance to win. She's got all kinds of confidence. It says, when you're on a roll, ride the wave.
Yeah, and she certainly is riding one right now as she gets ready for that triple combination that Alex was just talking about. Perfectly done.
Through that now.
Take your time, up, over, and across the finish line, and it's a good day for the Canadian women so far, isn't it? There's
absolutely. Ian Miller loves that, and why wouldn't he? Erin Ballard, the second clear round to join Tiffany Foster, the other Canadian, with the only 2 clears so far, and that's in another very fast time of 80.86 seconds. And that's just 4/10 behind Tiffany Foster, so it'll be quite the jump off at that pace.
Great form over the French Masters vertical coming off the water. You can see how careful and powerful this mare is. Back end, fully extended. Terrific ride.
Yeah, Erin Ballard loves the fact that the Canadian women are competing so well recently. Said, I'm always hashtagging girl power on social media.
Well, that was real girl power. Clear round on a Belgium warm blood mare.
So they're advancing to the jump off already. That's Erin Ballard and Tiffany Foster. We have 2 Canadians with the only clears so far as we get midway through this RBC Grand Prix of Canada presented by Rolex. There's Patricio Pascual, another one of the veteran riders out of Mexico.
It's been great watching him bring this big bay stallion Chocoloo up through his system. Of course, we remember Patricio in former times under miserable conditions winning this event with his great horse Babel, now retired. This horse he's been able to have a little patience with to bring up to the meter-60 level, and so far during the Spruce Meadows Summer Series, this beautiful bay stallion has answered all of the questions, but this is the biggest test. So let's see if the great veteran Patricio Pascual can put it all together with this 10-year-old.
Yeah, Patricio says Babel had a premature retirement in April after an unfortunate accident. Getting on in years, but Patricio said last year was a youthful horse, but not competing anymore.
Well, and like a member of the family, they had bred that horse, raised it from a foal all the way up through the system. And of course, these horses have long careers, and it's the next chapter now. And the next chapter in Patricio's career is with Chocoloo. and the other elements that he was speaking so proudly of the other day. He too competes against his son in international show jumping, and that's all very much a family affair.
And Patricio won the Recon Medal Cup Thursday at the national tournament on Chocoloo in a jump off against 11 other riders in a 49 horse field. So he says this horse has a great future.
Here's the maturity test. Coming into the triple combination, you're through the technical part. Now it's the fitness and the focus and not letting up by the time you get to the finish line within the time allowed. So he's up, he's over, but he's over the time allowed.
Over the time by 32 100ths of a second. So a clear round for Patricio Pascual. He gives the fist pump, but as he looks at the scoreboard, it's going to be one time fault that will eliminate him from the possibility of a jump off.
He'll be very pleased with the horse and very disappointed maybe in himself, because there's a step two or a step there that he might have been able to save. Big effort over the triple bar there. You can see the satisfaction and then the realization with that red bar across the scoreboard here. Still in the medals.
Yeah, Patricio Pascual of Mexico with the one-time fault. There's a look now at David O'Brien of Ireland. Currently 194th in the world standings. We have just the 2 clears so far, and they're both by Canadian riders. Tiffany Foster, who came out 5th from under the clock tower in this competition, and then Aaron Ballard, who was 11th out of the gate. 2 clears for the Canadians.
Well, it's kind of a soft Irish day out there right now, so maybe David will feel very much at home aboard this 12-year-old Oldenburg. Great expression on this horse's face as it comes down the east side of the stadium and takes on 2 of sort of the traditional jumps out of the Spruce Meadows collection, and then you move into the wide variety of this suite of international obstacles these riders and horses are facing right now. This from the World Championships in Denmark.
David has around 90 horses under his care at Spy Coast Farm in Lexington, Kentucky. But he grew up in an equestrian center. His parents run in Galway, Ireland. That's a lovely part of Ireland if you've ever been there.
Big operation, Spy Coast. Lots of horses, and David gets experience riding lots of different makes and models. There he's taking his time, giving the respect to that big Athens vertical that it deserves. 1.60 meters tall on very flat cups. And now down this tricky line. Let's see, he'll come off the Delph vertical. Nicely handled. Put the 5 strides in to get the oxer.
David's an advisor for the breeding program at Spy Coast Farms, but says he wants to ride more internationally in years to come. And with a performance like this one he's got going, he may get that opportunity as he comes to this final obstacle. And
heartbreak.
Another clear round.
You saw me spurring there.
Yeah, but just the one-time fault. So he'll be pleased with that effort, but disappointed with the time fault.
He actually, I think, he made a conscious effort here. When he comes off the triple combination, which the horse jumped perfectly, he took a little bit more real estate than required to set up to come into this final oxer. He gave the oxer it deserved there. He balanced a little bit, so he took the 1 fault instead of the 4, but he would have liked to clean.
And that 78 100ths of a second, the difference between going to a jump off and settling for the end of his day.